Hi, many of you know me, but some of you may not. My name is Harold Vincent, and I'm running for Howard County Sheriff. I was born here, raised here, educated here, worship here, and more than likely will die here. I was born at St. Joe Hospital, as many of you were. I went to kindergarten college at Main Street Methodist. From there I went to Palmer Elementary in the 900 block of South Webster. The building's still there, but the school is gone. But a lot of us went there. In the early 70s, I was supposed to go to Maple Crest. But if you remember back to the 70s, that was the beginning of the desegregation, and I was bused to Sycamore Junior High. Probably one of the best things that ever happened to me was going to Sycamore Junior High across town. That helped begin my cultural diversity training at a very early age, and I'm very proud of that. That served me well in my law enforcement career, and I appreciate that in looking back at that now. I went to Kokomo High School, the downtown campus, graduating in 1979. My father passed away in 1977, and we had a wrecker service and a garage, and we towed for the Kokomo Police Department and the Howard County Sheriff's Department. So my beginning, when I was a child, at the age of 12, we was already around a lot of police officers. When I came home from football practice and found him deceased, my mother and I sat down and talked about it, and we decided to try to continue to run the wrecker service, which we successfully did for another 2.5 years. And then we ultimately sold the wrecker service. Within months of selling the wrecker service, I got my first job in public safety. I was hired as a 911's communications officer for the city of Kokomo, their police department, and the fire department. I stayed at that job working all the shifts until August of 1984, at which time I went to Greentown Police Department and was appointed as their deputy marshal under Marshal Merrill Schrock. That was a huge learning experience. There was no FTO program back then. They threw me the keys and said, take the blue one. But I learned a lot about people while I was there, a lot about people from Merrill Schrock. In January of 1987, I was the first deputy hired under the Sheriff J.D. Beatty administration, badge number 3433. That badge number still remains very precious to me. Within 2 years, I was promoted to corporal, assistant shift supervisor. Approximately 2 years after that, I made training sergeant, which was a huge endeavor at the time because we was going to transition from the old jail on South Berkeley, which was a linear style jail. You took them to the pod, you locked them up, and you went back and checked on them about every 45 minutes to an hour. We was going to switch under Sheriff Beatty's vision to a direct supervision jail, which allows for intervention much quicker by correctional staff than it does for the strong to survive in a linear style facility. That was a big transition into a big new building. Fire suppression systems, food delivery, medical delivery, how you're going to see inmates, sick call, maintenance. There was just a lot to that we all had to learn. And I was very grateful that I was part of that to transition from linear to direct supervision. Upon being promoted to captain, part of those duties encompassed being the jail commander. When we moved into the facility, there was roughly 127 inmates when we moved in that day. We shipped a whole lot of them back down here from Whitley County and other facilities that had been housing them for us. That was a big transition day. Since being there, the jail has grown now to where I believe the daily population is approximately 410 to 425. And that does not include what's out with work release center, community corrections, and home detention. So the judicial system is expensive, and we need to see where and when we can possibly cut costs at all possible without jeopardizing safety to the citizens of Howard County or the surrounding areas. While at the Sheriff's Department, I also excelled in SWAT operations. I became a SWAT team member nearly 2 years on at the Sheriff's Department, soon rising to SWAT team assistant team leader, and then to team leader, and then eventually to SWAT commander. I also helped Sheriff Jerry Marr develop the Special Emergency Response Team, which comprised mainly of correctional staff officers. This team was solicited by several sheriff's departments throughout the state to assist with their CERT teams on contraband control, in searches of their facilities as well. I was really proud of this unit that we stood tall during several potential civil disorder unrest situations with Klan rallies and civil rights issues that made it tough to stand there to separate two crowds when one of them is shouting vulgarities at the other one, but you had to take the high road. And we was there as much to protect the citizens of Howard County and the citizens of Henry County and the citizens of Grant County when we was assigned to these endeavors. I will always be proud of that. Upon my retirement in November of 2015, I soon came to Green Acres Golf Course and was hired in as general labor. Later, approximately 2 months later, I was asked to be an assistant manager. The fall of 2016, after not even being here a year, I was asked to take over as operations director. And for those of you in the golfing world, know the condition that we was in 2016 and 2017. It is no ways near the condition that we are now for 2022. We had a record year in 2021 with over 12,000 rounds played at this course. The old Green Acres is alive and well and making a huge comeback. Again, for those of you in the golfing world, you know exactly what I'm talking about. For those of you that like to eat, or come out here to visit us on Taco Tuesday or well-renowned Friday night dinners, you know what the service and the pride that we put out with our food is. I'm very proud of my staff. They're very good at their jobs. I'm also glad about what we've done with this golf course and the banquet facility, and we've made Green Acres the place to tee. As you watch these video clippings and review them, I want you to take a moment and just digest on what I've told you. Take a notebook, write something down. If you have a question, send it to our website and we will be happy to address this. I want you to take the time to express to me what you want your sheriff's department to be like, what you want your sheriff to be like. All of this will be taken under advisement. Any successful leader is surrounded by many good advisors. I'm asking you to be those advisors. Thank you for your time.